Good evening, everybody. This is Les Paul, and I just wanted to take a minute to discuss my unit plan with you guys on career exploration. So for the unit career exploration, I will be covering NBE standard number 2 in the career exploration section, titled Career Exploration Research. The achievement standards to utilize career resources to develop a career information portfolio that includes international career opportunities. In level 1, I'll be covering standards 1 through 5. Level 2, standards 7 through 12. Level 3, 13 and 17. And level 4, 19 and 23. As an eighth grade teacher, once we get into those higher standards, I'm going to focus on less and less of them, because right now we're just focused on like the foundations of what career exploration is to get them from my class into the trades. Now, this unit is a 6-day unit. Day 1 being our traditional lecture and notes, and day 6 being a summative assessment via project. So before we get into all that stuff, I just wanted to show you guys some of my resources. Each day that when the students come in, they will have a prompt to fill out. I print these out, or I have them on Schoology, so it'll just be half of the page, and that will be their prompt for the day. So once they get through their prompt, their bell ringer, their anticipatory set, we will begin on day 1 to discuss our notes. So I have our notes. These is a copy of my PowerPoint. And then the students will also have their journal, which, as you see, is my notes minus information. So what I want them doing is, as I'm lecturing, I want them to be in tune with what I'm teaching. So I just delete stuff like my key terms or vocab, so on and so forth, and have them fill that in on their own, and then we discuss it. So like our key terms for our unit is job, occupation, career, career cluster, transferable skills, specialized skills. And it'll come to their journal, and I'll go to the key term section, and it'll be blank, and I'll fill it in. So after we finish our notes, we are going to visualize what career clusters are. So they will see this on Schoology. I'll have this hung on a poster on my walls so they can view it throughout the year, because we use career clusters in almost every unit. But also in day 1, we're going to identify some goals. We are going to see what they want to do in year 1 to 2, 5 to 10, or life goals. I know 8th grade probably seems young to start that, but we have to start this process now. So that's it for day 1. Day 2, we are going to start researching. So the first assessment they're going to do is their career research introduction. So they're going to look up the cluster and where that cluster can lead them: pathway 1, pathway 2, pathway 3. I always use the cluster example of health, so they can go and say, okay, the health cluster, we have doctors, nurses, LPNs, CNAs, and your regular registered nurses. So day 2, they will start that. They will obviously complete their bell ringer first. And then they're going to explain why they chose each career to go with their career cluster. So if they say health, why did you pick a doctor? Did you just know it? Or are you interested in being a doctor? So on and so forth. We're going to spend a lot of time in discussion on the second day. So we're a little bit short on like our formative assessments for day 2. But day 3, we really step up with the research. We start talking about them specifically. So what they're going to do is they're going to go through, and it's kind of an expanded version of what they did the day before. So career options worksheet. They are going to say why they chose career, like some positives, some negatives. After researching and digging into it, do they still feel like they're going to do that career? And if so, why they feel that way? If they don't want to do that anymore, why they not feel like they want to do that career anymore? And then what I want them to do is take the end of the class period and truly organize their thoughts before we move into day 4. So at the end of day 3, these students are going to do their career comparison. They're going to eliminate 2 or 1 of their previous career options and bring it down to 3. and kind of just do the highlights of like salary, work days, like the very specific research associated to that career. Excuse me. Day 4, we're gonna do a lot of research, a lot of research. So after they do their bell ringer, we're gonna do research and occupation, and we're gonna do parts 1 and part 2. So they're going to identify the one career that they chose off that previous day 3 worksheet. They're gonna say the basic job description, wages, and everything about that career. There's 16 questions. I would anticipate that to take them most of the class because I want them to be very thought provoking. I want them to really dive in and dig deep as to why they're choosing a specific career. Because we're getting to the part of the year now where my students are about to pick their vocation for next year, and I want them to be certain that's what they want to do. Day 5 is a cool day because they go back with a little bit of a refresher. We take a little step back, but you have to do that sometimes. We're reteaching. We're going to go back and reorganize our previous thoughts. The career exploration worksheet. They can use this link up here to see the career clusters again, but they're going to take their research page and just do it again. Essentially, just do it again to make sure their brain's still moving in the correct direction. And then you're going to make a profile for it. So about like earnings and everything about that career. So just kind of summarizing, it's kind of a summative assessment of what they've done over the last 2-3 days. Then day 6, they are going to create a presentation project. This was my rubric for our previous assignment. So they're going to take everything they learned about that career. And what I want them to do is practice their public speaking. I want them to stand up in front of the class and use technology to give a PowerPoint presentation. So all their tasks are outlined here. What needs to be included. I have my rubric of how they're graded, broken down. There's another version of that in I almost said Schoology, but in D2L, I did use that for the last assignment. But that summative assessment will be for me to say, okay, like this is the career that you can present to the class, and I can present to the guidance and say, hey, this student should be in this vocation if in case they don't get placed there. And then for my own little help with this, and for anyone who needs to step in my class and teach this class, let's say I'm out a day or something, and they're wondering what these types of assessments are, I have a little infographic that I included in my sub plans, and usually I have up my bulletin board to explain like, okay, summative, what is it? Formative, what is it? But I hope this helps with an outline of what my class is going to be and what this unit is about ultimately.